Akira.
The Dawn.
He's got clout.
The title of these talks that I'm giving here is Mind Over Mind. And I'm going into all the various problems which have to do with the control of the mind. And so I might introduce what I'm going to say by saying it from different points of view. For example, if you're interested in communications, it will be the problem of feedback. Or if I may put it in theological terms, how does man follow the will of God if the will of man is perverse? The theologians say, you cannot do this without having divine grace, or the power to follow the will of God. How then do you get grace? Why is grace given to some?
There's an 11-second delay, maybe 12. I think okay.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Just is in a place to be. MCFDA, Motor City Street Dance Academy, Detroit, Ill Till Infinity, fresh classics, all in the mix. You know how we do. So boom, bop, da da da, bing, wop, bop, 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 da. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Hey, da da, oh yeah. So going over waves again, dropping that right wrist, lifting that elbow, working that shoulder. Hey.
Akira.
The Dawn.
He's got clout.
The title of these talks that I'm giving here is Mind Over Mind. And I'm going into all the various problems which have to do with the control of the mind. And so I might introduce what I'm going to say by saying it from different points of view. For example, if you're interested in communications, it will be the problem of feedback. Or if I may put it in theological terms, how does man follow the will of God if the will of man is perverse? The theologians say, you cannot do this without having divine grace, or the power to follow the will of God. How then do you get grace? Why is grace given to some and not to others? If I cannot follow the will of God by my own effort because my will is selfish, how will my will, which is selfish, be transformed into an unselfish will? If I cannot do it because I am already the selfish will, then grace must do it. Then grace must do it. If grace has not already done it, why not? Because I didn't accept it? But by definition, I had no power to accept it because my will was selfish. Must I then become a Calvinist and say that only those people who are predestined to receive grace will be able to live the good life? The good life. Then we come back to the inadmissible position that people who live evil lives and do not get grace because they are not predestined to it out of the infinite wisdom of the Godhead, then God himself must be held responsible for their evil deeds. And so that is a nice little tangle. If I put this in the language of Oriental philosophy and religion, it would be something like this. The Buddha said that wisdom must come only from the abandonment of selfish craving or desire. One who abandons that desire attains nirvana, which is supreme peace, liberation, supreme peace, liberation, supreme peace. liberation. Nirvana means in Sanskrit, blow out. That is, exhale the breath. That is, exhale the breath. The opposite, desire, is to breathe in. Now, if you breathe in and hold it, you lose your breath. But if you breathe out, it comes back to you. It comes back to you. So the principle here is, if you want life, don't cling to it. Let go. Let go. But the problem is, if I desire not to desire, is that not already desire? How can I desire not to desire? How can I surrender myself when myself is precisely an urge to hold on, to cling to life, to continue to survive? To survive. To survive. I can see rationally that by clinging to myself I may strangle myself. I may be like a person who has a bad habit, as a result of which he is committing suicide. And he knows that, but can't give it up, because the means of death are so sweet. So it all comes down to this basic question, that human beings have for a long, long time been concerned about transforming their minds. Is there any way in which one's mind can be transformed? Or is it simply a process which is nothing more than a vicious circle? I could ask, why have you come here this afternoon? What were you looking for? Would it be too presumptuous of me to say that you were looking for help? Looking for help. That you hoped you would hear somebody who had something to say that would be of help and relevance to you as members of a world which is running into the most intense difficulty. A world beset by a complex of problems, any one of which would be bad enough. But when you add together all the great political, social, and ecological problems with which we are faced, they are appalling. And one naturally says, the reason why we are in such a mess is not simply that we have wrong systems for doing things, whether they be technological, political, or religious, but we have the wrong people. The systems may be all right, but they are in the wrong hands because we are all, in various ways, self-seeking, lacking in wisdom, lacking in courage, afraid of death, afraid of pain, unwilling really to cooperate with others, unwilling to be open to others. And we all think that's too bad. It's me that's wrong.
And I think I am live. Man, I was supposed to be behind the camera, but huh? Shit, I think I got it. Wow, yes, he's here. Welcome back for another day in the week of Motor City Street Dance Academy. My name is Just, J-U-S-T. You can see it. It's up here somewhere. You're tuning into the Motor City Street Dance Academy, Just representing Fresh Classics, Ill to Infinity. You are here today because you want to know a little bit about popping and you know how we do it out here in Detroit. With all the dances that we teach, of course, we go over the history and foundation. That's how you show and give respect to these cultures. Popping comes from California. Most people say Oakland. Some people say elsewhere, Fresno. So all I say is, over in Cali. So when we talk about the dance style popping, where popping is an umbrella term for a whole bunch of other styles that are very prominent over in California, like ticking, strobing, animation, robotics, animatronics, slide, glides, floats, tutting. There's all sorts of styles encompassed under popping. But the main thing that makes popping is what we call the hit. Yeah, boom. Boom. So, we're gonna, just like we did last week, we're gonna refresh on our hitting drills, our arms, chest, legs. Some people do a little neck. But what we're gonna do is we're going to go over that. We're gonna warm up, and I'm probably gonna give you a little bit more animation techniques as well as getting you a little bit more comfortable in the music with popping. Yeah, so we'll refresh on OG Crisco's ball technique for movement, okay? So right now what we're gonna do, we're going to warm up. Ooh, with the smoothness too. So just follow after me, and when we start, do not be afraid if you're not doing these moves right. It is totally fun. You are here to have fun, okay? I'm here for you. You're here for fun. I'm providing fun to you, okay? So take your time, take it easy, and let's roll with it. So we're gonna warm up. Make sure you got some space. So before I start off, make sure you got some space. Make sure you got your water, okay? And you're gonna make sure you got your mind. So just for my purpose, make sure you got your mind. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths. So with me, we're gonna breathe to the core right here. So 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now that you got a little bit of room, like I know some of y'all do, loosen up your arms, swing them, make sure you got the space. Ooh. All while we're doing this, make sure you're breathing deep. Alright, now bring those twists in a little bit more. Get your, what I just call my students, they call spaghetti arms. So loosen them up. Ooh. Feel it in the shoulders. Alright, go up here. Make sure you loosen up in the shoulders too. Got the energy kind of moving around, but we're going to loosen up our neck a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the counterclockwise. So dropping your chin to your chest. Going this way. Take your time. Make sure you feel through these motions, right? And then once we get here, stop. Now we're going to go the other way. Actually, let's work out these shoulders a little bit because we're gonna be doing some waving today. So I want your shoulders to be nice, warmed up, and loose. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna rotate our shoulders forward and going backwards. So what it looks like this. Boom. Alright. So rotating our shoulders backwards. This will help you open up that heart chakra a little bit. Just a little bit. Gotta do some yoga to really open it up. And then we're gonna go the other way, rotating forward. Cool. Alright. Actually, no, that's what was just our shoulders. We're going to continue to stretch. So, right arm across the body. Pull your arm to you. And then we're going to switch. Right arm, pulling the other arm against the body. Oh, what is that right there? Hey, warming up. That's what I'm talking about. It's over here. Over here, yeah. So my production team have one right there, keeping the status updates. With the fly stuff here and there. You know what I mean? All right. Now we're gonna take this left arm. We're going to bring it behind the back, and you're going to take your right hand, grab your left elbow, and pull it down just a little bit, not too rough because you don't want to pull anything. You just want to give it a nice little stretch, okay? All right, and then we're going to switch. So this time, right arm behind the back, left hand grabbing right elbow, pulling down. Alright, now we got that. What we're going to do is we're going to open up our base a little bit. We're going to go straight down. We're going to go left and we're going to go right. But right now, we're going to go straight down. You can touch the ground. Cool. If you can't, that's fine too. You're here just to feel it at least a little bit. It's good enough, okay? So we're just trying to get these movements into these stretches into your body so these movements will come off a little bit more smooth. Getting the energy to flow throughout the whole body, you gotta stretch it out. Ooh, that's so tight. Going to the left. All right, that's both sides. I don't even think I said go to the right side, but we should be good. Whew. All right, so now we're gonna go over our hitting drills now. Hitting drills. So we're gonna start with our arms. We're gonna start here, and bring it back home, right? Those are just for our basics. Eventually for my advanced poppers, you're gonna be going in front, you're gonna be going in back, you're gonna be going up, right? But for my basics, I'll refresh on, for my new people who are tuning in, I'm gonna refresh on how to hit with your arm just real quick. And if you have, if you want some more detail, you can go back a few weeks because I went over a little bit more in detail. So when we go over our arm hits, we're looking for this forearm muscle right here. We're looking for that to bulge. You should be able to, you know, a little bit closer. Bow, bow, bow. You see that? Bow, bow, boom, bing. All right. So these are the muscles that we're looking for right here. So if you're having a hard time finding this muscle to command it, it's totally fine because, you know, you're just starting out. But a good way, a good technique to help you find that muscle is to use the resistance of your other hand. So when you're lifting this one, you hold your other one on top. If I lift this hand up and make this one stop it, it causes this muscle to pop out. Boom, right? So this is just you helping get that visual of where your hit should be coming from. All right? Boom, right? Flex. Boom. All right? So if you want to imagine, like, if you got weights, you can imagine you holding a weight, because if you're trying to hold it up here for a while, this muscle's going to bulge out, and you're going to, it's going to get into your muscle memory a little bit better. So the more you do this, the more you're going to be able to call on those muscles a lot easier, because your body can remember things just like your mind can. You just got to train it too. So, and we're always going to be hitting on the half notes and quarter notes. So the bass and the snares. For the first part, we just do snares like that. Bow. So you got your flex like that. We should be good to go on these popping exercises, warm ups, arm hits. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then bring it back home. Ooh, excuse me. Bring it back home. Okay, that was a little easy for my people who've been catching up, who've been staying consistently throughout the weeks. Now we're about to work on our quarter notes, bass and snare. Boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat. Okay. So we do that when it comes back. Quarter notes. Do do. Cool. All right, that was our arms, our chests. We're going to go 4 chest pumps, then 4 chest hits, or 4 chest isolations and 4 chest hits. If you don't know what I mean by chest isolation, I mean you're learning how to isolate your chest from the rest of your body. So this is my chest up and out, pushed out. This is my normal posture. My chest up and out. Normal posture. Chest up and out. Normal posture, right? So we're gonna do 4. I'll demonstrate it, and then we're just gonna go for it. So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we hit 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to the chest pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, so follow. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bump. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so if you didn't know how to actually chest hit, go back a couple videos on my Wednesday Poppin class. We go over chest hits. Right now what we're gonna go over are our leg hits. We're gonna make that hit drill really quick. We're gonna go over the level drop for your legs, bow, that one. Actually, let's go over there right now. Then we'll do over the heel one. So dropping your level, taking your time on the beat, boom, right? Boom. And this, of course, doing this just by itself is going to help with a lot of musicality and other dances like hip hop, because we bounce. But this is Wednesday, poppin', out. So go from taking your level a little bit. You know, we're dropping like this, almost like we're just trying to go under something, but now make it micro. Ow. Ow. And notice how that reverb transfers up. Boom. Bow. Boom. Boom. And always in those snares. Right? Alright. So that one is kind of can be used with steps and movement if you want. Some people will go and drop their level, bow. You know, that's just not my it's not my style. I use a lot of the back leg hit is what I call it. It might be called something different. But be very, very careful with this one, because this is how a lot of OGs blew the knees out back in the day. So let's use that what we call it last week or the week before, marshmallow technique. Like your heel is stepping on a marshmallow. You take your time, gauge, make sure you know how strong your knee is, because we don't want to be like Mav and have weak knees. Weak knee, I'm sorry. One knee is good. So really taking your time. So notice how I'm pushing on the snare. Bow. Boom. And you want to start off nice and soft. You just want to be able to catch the beat. Meet the beat on the ground. Boom. Bow. Boom. Bow, right? Now, once you get comfortable with being on the beat, right? You don't really want your leg to kind of cock back. You just want to make like a more firm statement, like boom, boom. You want that reverb to travel up. Bow, bow, right? Boom. So I've been doing this for like 12, 13 years, somewhere around there, 11, 12. I've been in it for a minute. Ooh, I like that. I might have to use that for something. So my body's pretty conditioned to knowing how to do this. So, but you gotta take your time. For my new, younger students who want instant gratification, you're not gonna get it here. If you want instant gratification from this move, you end up hurting yourself. Take your time. Can't stress that enough. You have all the time in the world, especially now. This is an opportunity for you to work on your craft. So, boom, bow, 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 right? Again, notice that reverb traveling up. Bow, bow, boom, boom. We're gonna switch now. This side, marshmallow. Heel, just meet the beat, take your time. Boom, boom, boom. Bow. Meet the music. Bing, boom. Bow. Bam. Boom. 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 Alright, now come with a little bit more, just a little bit more pressure to it, a little bit more intention. And so usually when I'm doing this, like I'm driving my heel into the ground. Boom. So it gives me that reverb coming up. Bah. Boom. 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 Take your time. Alright. So let's work around chest or chest. Arms, chest, legs. Alright, I believe I said we were fresh on our waves, and then we would go over Crisco's ball technique. Oh yeah, I think we were supposed to go over advanced wave. I'm gonna go over the basic wave real quick. Waving is giving off the illusion that water is moving through your body, like your bones have become liquid. Right? That's what the illusion is. Like Bruce Lee be like water. If you're looking for influences of how to do this style, there's plenty of people to look up. Examples that I would tell you to look up for waving would be Boogie Frantic, Poppin John. There's a lot of dope wavers out there. Jay Moo, man. Michigan's own Cool Hand Luke, nasty with the waves. I say look up Cool Hand Luke first because he's from here, talking about Detroit people. If you look for waves, look for Cool Hand. He's with the smoke because his waves look like smoke. He's with the smoke regardless, I'm sure. But basic wave, 7 parts to it. We're gonna refresh on it, then we'll get to the advanced, which is 12. So arms out, your arms will get tired. My students, y'all know better. Dropping your right wrist slightly. 1, lifting the elbow. 2, moving it to the shoulder. 3. Now what we're gonna do over here is what we did over here, but in reverse. 4, see that? Lift up the elbow, left elbow. 5, push it to the wrist. 6, release. 7, right? Usually we just release like that for the basic purposes. But keep your arms up because we're going to do it again. This time we're going to go from this side to this side. 1, right? Lift the elbow. 2, shoulder. 3, other shoulder. 4, elbow. 5, wrist. 6, lift finger. 7, right? So I'm going to do that again without any more pauses. From this side to side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going now. Bop, boop, boop, bop, boop. Right? Woo. Got the shoulders a little bit. Alright, so that's your basic 7. Going from either direction, no matter where you start, you're going to be hitting those 7 basic parts. I am a pretty good I'm a stickler for foundation and cleanliness. You know, you could sometimes, if you look at my videos when I'm dancing, if you see me do a wave, I'm always demonstrating a lot of foundation. And I do that because I know my students are watching me. So when you see me do one of these waves like this, bow, bow, I'm showing you those basic parts. So pay attention. Same on this side. Boo, boo, right? So just that 1, 2, 3. And this is called a trace wave. We'll talk about that after we get our advanced down. So there are different kinds of waves, but right now we're going to go over our advanced wave, which are 12 part. If you don't know about the finger waves, go back in my video, I believe last week or the week before on popping. Towards the end, I believe I talked about finger waves and how they're going to help with the fluidity and the release of your waves. So the entrance waves and releasing waves, like a lot can be done with the fingers. Your hands are objects of attention attraction. So when you see me do stuff like this, you know, people are gonna look. They're like, magicians want you to go. They want you to look over here, even though they might be doing something over here. But that's not the point of that. We're kind of like magicians here. So starting in the fingertips, I'll get up close right here. So yeah, I'm pretty good right there. So instead of us going 1, 2, 3, we're starting even closer. We're going to go 1, like tiger claw or something. 2, if you notice how my hand lifted on 2 and didn't just go like that, right? 1, lift, 2. Notice how my thumb grabs the top of my fingers to help with the conformity of the unity of the wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. These start to look familiar, right? We just kind of added numbers at the beginning, and it still translates to the same thing. So, starting back at the beginning, 1, lifting, 2, right? 3, 4, 5. Now I'm at 5. Notice how my whole arm is back straight. 5, 6. 6 is in the chest. Okay? We're going to start over. We're going to do that again. Back here at the tip of the finger. Make sure I'm in the... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Now what we're going to do over here, you guessed it, we're going to do the same thing that we did over here, but in reverse. So we can start at 6. This is like a safe point. If you get me, if you, all my gamers out there. 6, 7. So you got to bring attention to where the wave is. So you're going to lift this shoulder. 6, 7, 8. Right? These look familiar, right? Do it again. In 6, our chest is lifted, and then once we push it this way, boom, it goes to our shoulder. 7, elbow, 8, wrist, 9. Make sure I'm getting in there. 9, knuckles, 10, finger knuckles, 11, and your release is 12. Okay, that's a full 12. But we're gonna do that again. Actually, we're gonna go from this side to this side. We gotta be ambidextrous, if I even said that right. Put it in the comments if you know how to spell ambidextrous, or if I'm even saying it right. The proper pronunciation. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit because I think we understand our finger part. So from this side, 1, that tiger claw. 2, notice how my knuckles lifted, lifting, boom. So 1, 2, 3, that lift, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, release, 12. Alright? That, boom, 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 boom. Alright? Do it again, one more time, from right to the left this time. 1, a tiger claw. 2, lift those knuckles. 3, that wrist. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That release. So it's very important when you're starting off, especially with your animated waves, the ones that you want really immersive control over. When you start, you don't want to just kind of go. I mean, you can, but if you wanna captivate your audience a little bit more, you wanna really finesse them with your hands, because everybody always want to see what those hands do. You want to see these hands, these paws. Get it? So when I start my waves, I'm making sure, like, before I even start moving my hand, my illusion in my mind is already set up. Like, I see a wall of water here that I'm going to go through. At least I'm going to push my arm through. So when I go like this, I'm really imagining my hand going into that water and becoming liquid. Ooh. You know what I mean? So the more you commit to practice, the more fluid you're going to become. And the more fluid you're going to become, the more your illusion is going to be able to get across. Because I see waving as a form of animation, like making the real seem unreal, unreal seem real, storytelling, to tell stories with waves. Alright, little tangent there. So that was our 12-point wave. Shout out to Boogie Frantic for dropping that knowledge on the world, because he also has a tutorial on that 12-point wave on YouTube. So if you're here after class, type in Boogie Frantic 12-point wave so you can get it from a different perspective. I highly encourage my students to do so, because sometimes one way doesn't work for you, because I know one way just didn't work for me. I got knowledge from my OGs here in the city, and I got knowledge from OGs at Mecca in New York. I got knowledge from the ones in Cali. You bring it back, and I found that what worked for me, and I'm doing my best to share that with you. Okay. So we're gonna go over body wave real quick. Yeah, we're gonna go over body wave real quick, and then we're gonna talk about the ball technique again. So body wave, for me at least, has 6 parts into it: chest, hips, legs. The most basic, then legs, hips, chest. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most of my students pretty much have this down, but don't be afraid to experiment with how you do these waves, especially the arm ones. Your arms are just so fluid, right? Fingers. So, body wave, chest. I'm turning at an angle so you can see my dimension, because if I do my body wave this way, you're not really going to see me do anything. It's just going to look. But if I turn my dimension and do it again, boom, 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 you'll see a little bit more, right? So I'm going to exaggerate my movements a little bit more so you can, it's a little floaty. Better visuals. So chest, 1, right? As you're tired, 1. Dropping your hips, 2. Right? And notice how my chest went back straight. I'm not sitting here like this, right? So chest, 1. Hips, 2. Chest normal. Lifting at the legs, 3. Okay? I'm gonna do that again, but this time I'm gonna do it from this way. So those first 3 parts, drop your chest, 1. Drop your hips, 2. Stand up, 3. This shows that our wave is now down here at our legs. Now we have to bring it back up. So I'm gonna do it again from this side. So now that the wave is here, we gotta rebend their legs. Boom. Because we're about to send that wave right back up. So 4, hips, if you know who Michael Jackson is, 5, then lifting, standing back straight up, 6. You can get a little isolation in your chest just to put more emphasis on where the wave is. But these are your waves, it's totally up to you. As long as you're using every single part of your body and your waves don't look like that, you gotta use every single part, right? I don't ever want to see any incomplete waves from my students, unless you're doing like some portal waves that Nanzi used to talk about, in one pocket, pocket out, right? As a little form of animation, makes them waving. We'll talk about it in future classes. One more time with the body wave. Chest, 1. Hips, 2. Legs, 3. Legs, 4. Hips, 5. Chest, 6. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you have those basic parts. It is your job to bring fluidity to that movement. How do you bring that fluidity? By consistent practice and making them flow one after another. So instead of stopping and going 1, 2, 3, I want you to go 1, 2, 3, right? Make it more smooth. Ba, 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 ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's just we didn't even talk about. I don't even think I told you about the other thing, the trade secret. Maybe next class. That's your basic body weight. Don't be afraid to demonstrate. Practice with your feet in different positions, trying to hit those same parts. Wow, because you're going to come up with different results. This is you becoming a creative dancer. You're becoming an artist when you start coming up with your own ways to wave, right? So waving takes a lot of different forms. It is up to you to discover them, discover the new ones. Alright, so now we're about to talk about OG Crisco's ball technique. Or the dribble ball, whatever he calls it. I think he said, when he first told me about it, he was like, it's a hamster ball or something like that. Hamster or dribble ball, whatever. If you put a hamster there, they're able to roam freely without getting crushed and stuff like that. But don't imagine yourself being trapped. Just imagine it being a nice energy sphere that you're trying to hit every single point. Boom. So, if you notice in the most basic sense, I won't even move my legs. If I extend out, this is the range of my ball, okay? My fingertips are touching the edge of my ball right here, alright? When I bring my hands in, my ball shrinks with me, so my elbows are now touching the edges of my ball. So, you want to meet the edge with the beat, right? So these are just basic poses. And if you get one leg up, they call that an air pose in Boogaloo, But I'm not a Boogaloo style. I'm just a popper. But I'm not a rapper. So a good practice technique for you to do is just sit there and hit the beats. Meet the beats on the edge as far as you can extend. Because I know there's a lot of dancers, and I used to do this a lot. I used to dance really internally, so all my movements would consist inside my body. I'd be like, ooh, not knowing or not really understanding that there's more space out here in the ether for me to hit. So it went from going like, hitting like this to ooh, started hitting with everything. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. So this is a really good practice, especially for my people who always have music constantly in their ear, whether it's real music playing or just the music in your head. Don't be afraid to move to it, because it's going to advance your craft. Your body wants to move. I know it does. So take your time, hit those snares. Boom, boom. Think of how many different positions you can hit. Boom, 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 boom. Told myself I wouldn't move my feet, so I could just stay stationary. Ah. Boom, boom. So no matter how silly they are, like the more silly it is, the more I think you should do it, because that's going to give you a lot more freedom of movement in your dance. It doesn't always have to look pristine and clean and fresh. Unless you're battling, then the judges are going to want cleanliness and pristine. But when it's you, just hit the beats. And if you want like things I need to do, or I am my practice technique is just working on that one arm. So, and don't forget that you have more than just up here. A lot of people don't drop their levels when we talk about dynamics in dance, my students. Levels, dropping them. Alright, now I'm gonna move my feet a little bit. So, like I said last week or before, when you move, the ball moves with you. So when I step over, if you can imagine a ball around me, it's moving with me. If y'all could see auras, that's how it is. But For those of you who can, at least. So when I move, when I step, boom, that was my edge of my ball right there, boom. And I hit it as I'm leaving that edge to hit the other side. Bow, right? Move, bow, move, bow, move, right? And this is me going from side to side. Knowing that this ball goes all the way around you is not just a 2D flat sphere around you, a circle. It goes all around you. So if you got this, you can do it here too. Boom. So when I move, I can come back this way. Right? Boom. Boom. Don't be afraid to use your hips. Don't be afraid to use your head, your neck, your ears, your jaw, whatever you got to hit those beats, because you are the physical visualization of music. Where when we get on that dance floor or in that cyber circle or in that battle, we are out there being human visualizers. If you don't know what a visualizer is, you should look it up. Visualizer. For those of you who have iTunes, you can scroll to the top and think it says like window or something, and that's, visualizer, click it, and it's going to show you basically what you're listening to. As our job as dancers, we're showing people those instruments that we're listening to. Hey, back. Alright, one of the most important things with that, of course, is being free with it. If you want to just hit the circle with your hips, that's cool. That's probably gonna be your style. Boom, bah, boom, bah. Hey, hey, hey. Or just with the shoulders. Boom, boom. You're using everything you can. Bah, boom, hitting those edges. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Alright, so I highly encourage my students to continue to work on your sphere or your ball, whatever you want to call it, is yours. Take your time with the music. Another thing, your dynamics. So when you're hitting the beats real fast, versus or moving through them. Next week we're going to talk a little bit more about different kinds of waves. I'm sorry, that just came to mind. But I was told I have 2 minutes, 1 minute now. So just to reiterate, today we went over, we just warmed up, we went over some more foundation of our waves, get a little bit more comfortable with it, and then went over our OG Crisco's sphere concept and or technique, whatever you want to call it. It's something I've been using since I first started, and it's helped me out a lot. So don't be scared to experiment with these things, because like I said before, it is your dance. You're here to have fun. Definition of hip-hop is peace, love, unity, and having fun. Do not forget that. Culture first, dance second. I don't even think we did even like a little water break today. Man. It's in the class. Everybody jugs up, glasses up. Cheers to some water. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. You didn't have to be here, but you were. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me. I can feel it from here. Tune again next week on my Monday class for hip hop, Wednesday for popping. My name is Just. This is the Motor City Street Dance Academy, repping ill till infinity, fresh classics, all love, all light, water, physical activity, meditation. You know how it goes, my people. Deuces. Hey. Yeah, bro. These handstands are getting so much easier. It's exciting. I know these things have been helping too.
Go ladies, go ladies, go ladies, go ladies, check it out. Go ladies, go ladies, check it out. Go ladies, go ladies. Evans Jones.
Bond Jr.?
Akira.